What if everything you have been waiting for is already on its way to you right now? And the only thing standing between you and receiving it is the story you keep telling yourself every single morning. I want you to sit with that for a moment, because in all my years of teaching, in all the thousands of people I have worked with, I have seen one pattern again and again. It is never the circumstances that hold people back. It is never the economy or the timing or the people around them. It is always, always the inner story. And today, my dear one, we are going to change yours. Imagine standing at the edge of your life right now. Your palms are open. Your breath is soft. Your heart is willing. And something inside you, some quiet, knowing part of you, whispers, something good is on its way. That one shift, that one softening, that gentle opening inside your chest, that is more powerful than anything the world has ever taught you to do. We were raised to believe that we had to grip tightly, push harder, control every outcome, predict every danger. We were taught to brace, to fight, to force. But life was never designed to be wrestled with. Life was designed to be partnered with. And the moment you loosen your grip, the moment you soften your jaw and drop your shoulders and breathe deeply into the truth that you do not need to control anything to be safe, that is the moment life can finally begin flowing towards you instead of being blocked by you. You see, we don't suffer because life is unkind. We suffer because we tighten around life. We fear what might happen, so we try to control it. We fear losing what we have, so we cling to it. We fear disappointment so deeply that we assume the worst before anything even begins. And all of that fear, all of that bracing, becomes a wall that good things simply cannot pass through. But the moment, even one small, quiet moment, when you act as if something good is coming, you pierce a hole in that wall. You create an opening. You make space for life to show you its kindness. And here is what I want you to understand. Acting as if is not pretending. Acting as if is remembering. Remembering that there is a version of you who trusts the process, a version of you who doesn't need to know how or when or why, a version of you who believes deeply and quietly that life is always moving you towards something meaningful. Acting as if is not lying to yourself. It is aligning yourself with the part of you that already knows you are meant for more. When you act as if, your energy shifts first, and life responds second. I have watched this happen thousands of times, and it has never once failed to move me. People come to me anxious, discouraged, afraid, and I say gently, "My darling, just try acting as if something good is on its way." And they look at me and they say, "But Louise, isn't that unrealistic?" And I smile and I say, "No. Unrealistic is believing nothing good can ever happen again. You are not being naive when you expect blessings. You are being aligned. You are not delusional when you anticipate miracles. You are being receptive. You are not pretending when you loosen your shoulders and say, 'Something wonderful is unfolding for me.' You are telling the universe, 'I am ready to receive.'" Think about what happens in your body when you expect danger. Your muscles tighten, your heart races, your breath shortens, your mind scans frantically for threats. Now think about what happens when you expect good. Your breath deepens, your chest expands, your nervous system softens, your intuition awakens, acting as if places your entire body in a state of openness, receptivity, and safety. And my dear, the body heals in safety. The heart opens in safety. The mind expands in safety. Life flows most freely to the nervous system that is relaxed enough to receive it. Take a breath with me now, a slow one, a soft one. And as you inhale, imagine the air whispering, "You are guided." And as you exhale, Let your body release years of bracing, years of carrying the old story that said you had to do everything alone. Because here is the truth you may have forgotten. Life is always helping you, always supporting you, always leading you towards something better. When you act as if good things are coming, you are not creating false hope. You are aligning with the natural flow of life itself. Now I want to talk to you about the mind, because here is something nobody warned you about, and once you understand it, everything changes. Your mind believes the story you repeat most often, not the story that is most true, not the story that is most loving, not the story that serves your highest good, simply the one you say again and again and again. The mind doesn't filter your thoughts. It doesn't argue with them. It doesn't evaluate whether they're actually accurate. It simply accepts. It is why I have always said, change your thoughts and you change your life. When you change the story, you change the lens you see through. When you change the lens, you change your reactions. When you change your reactions, you change your entire reality. Most of us are carrying a story we didn't even choose consciously. Maybe you heard it from a parent. Maybe you absorbed it from an early disappointment. Maybe a heartbreak planted a seed that quietly grew into a belief you've been living by ever since. And once the mind hears something often enough, it assumes it must be the truth. So if you have been telling yourself, I'm unlucky, I'm not the kind of person good things happen to, life is always hard for me, your mind has become a loyal detective searching for evidence to prove that story right. Not because it wants to punish you, but because that is how the mind works. It looks for what it knows. It protects what is programmed. And here is the part that surprises people most. The mind is far more loyal to your familiar story than it is to your happiness. But anything practiced can be unpracticed. Anything learned can be unlearned. Anything repeated can be rewritten. You have the right, the power, and the freedom to rewrite your story whenever you choose. You are not bound to the thoughts you inherited. You are not chained to the beliefs you absorbed at 5 years old. The moment you say, I choose a new story, you break the cycle. The past doesn't need to be denied. It simply needs to be recontextualized. You are not erasing who you were. You are updating who you are becoming. I once worked with a woman who said to me, Louise, nothing good ever happens to me. And I said, my darling, try saying instead, good things find me easily. Say it for 1 week and watch what happens. She came back a month later almost in disbelief. New relationships, new ideas, a confidence she hadn't felt in years. Not because magic fell from the sky, but because she began living inside a new narrative. She acted as if life loved her. And when she acted as if life loved her, life finally had permission to show her that it did. That is the power you hold. You do not need to fix your circumstances. You do not need to fix people. You do not need to fix the world. You only need to choose your internal state. And when that shifts, the world begins to reorganize around you. And this brings me to something that quietly shapes every moment of your life, and most people have never once been taught to notice it. The difference between reacting and creating. Most people live their entire lives in reaction. They react to the weather, to what someone said, to the economy, to their past, to their fear. They wake up reactive. They move through the day reactive. They go to bed reactive. And then they wonder why life feels so chaotic, so heavy, so out of their hands. When you live in reaction, you give your power away moment by moment, thought by thought, emotion by emotion. But when you learn to shift into creation, when you choose your thoughts, choose your responses, choose your internal state, everything begins to change. And I mean everything. Life is not happening to you, my love. Life is happening through you. And the moment you truly understand that, you stop reacting and you start creating. Reaction is automatic. Creation is intentional. Reaction is rooted in fear. Creation is rooted in choice. And you deserve a life built on choice, not fear. Whenever you feel yourself reacting, tightening, bracing, rushing, defending, place your hand gently on your heart and whisper, I choose peace. I choose presence. I choose me. This one simple act interrupts the old pattern and invites something new. It pulls you out of unconscious reaction and places you back into conscious creation. What you react to, you give power to. If you react to fear, fear grows. If you react to chaos, chaos grows. But when you respond from intention, calm grows, clarity grows, possibility grows. I want possibility to grow in you. Now let me take you even deeper into something I have spent my whole life teaching, because it is the principle that, once you truly feel it, you cannot unfeel it. Life responds to who you are being, not what you are wishing. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to receive blessings effortlessly? How one person relaxes and opportunities appear while another person works so hard and nothing seems to move? The difference is not luck. It is not talent. It is not destiny. It is state. The inner state goes first. The outer results follow. This is one of the great spiritual laws, and it works whether you believe in it or not. Most people live in reverse. They say, when life gets better, I will relax. When the money comes, I will feel worthy. When the relationship arrives, I will feel loved. But my darling, that is emotional waiting. And emotional waiting keeps life waiting too. Life cannot bring you something you are not yet aligned with. Life cannot deliver blessings into a heart that is still closed. So instead of waiting for the result to create the state, you create the state that invites the result. Let me give you an image. Imagine a garden. Your mind is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your emotions are the climate. And life is the harvest. If you plant fear, you cannot harvest peace. If you plant doubt, you cannot harvest confidence. But if you plant trust, if you plant readiness, if you plant the steady belief that good things are on the way, your garden cannot help but bloom. And here is something extraordinary that I want you to hold. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It only knows the feelings you give it. If you feel peaceful, it says, we are peaceful. If you feel abundant, it says, we are abundant. If you feel lovable, it says, we are lovable. And it begins filtering, interpreting, and responding to the world through that feeling. So when you practice the feeling of already having what you desire, when you step into the emotional state of the result before the result has arrived, you are sending the most powerful signal there is. Not a wish, a message. Prepare for this. Expect this. Align with this. And the most beautiful part? You do not need perfect belief for this to work. You do not need to feel 100% confident or eliminate every trace of doubt. You only need to be willing, just willing, a little open, a little soft, a little trusting. Willingness creates space. Space creates energy. Energy creates movement. And movement creates results. Now let me take you into something I find radiant. Something that, when you truly understand it, transforms the way you walk through every ordinary day. Your assumptions are prayers, not the kind spoken with words, the kind spoken with energy. Every assumption you hold is a vibration you send out into the world. and all vibrations return home carrying experiences that match their tone. What is the dominant assumption you hold about your life? Do you assume struggle, disappointment, delay? Do you assume things are simply hard for you? Or do you assume support, ease, right timing? Do you assume that blessings are always on their way? Because here is the quiet, life-changing truth. You do not manifest by chasing. You manifest by becoming. When you become the version of yourself who expects goodness, goodness must arrive. When you become the version of yourself who trusts timing, timing must align. Life cannot contradict your dominant assumption. It may delay, it may dance, it may redirect, but it cannot deny the frequency you consistently hold. You never need to chase what already belongs to your frequency. I once sat with a woman who had spent years assuming the worst. Every phone call terrified her. Every opportunity made her anxious. Every relationship felt like a threat. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "Louise, I'm so tired of waiting for life to hurt me." And I said gently, "My darling, then let us choose a different assumption." I asked her to wake up each morning and simply whisper, "Something wonderful is coming." Not with pressure, not with force, not with enthusiasm she didn't feel. Just a whisper, just a willingness. And do you know what happened? Her posture changed, her tone changed, her choices changed, her life changed, because she became a magnet for new possibilities. Life responds to your openness. Life responds to your willingness to believe you are supported. When you act as if good things are coming, you step into the frequency where good things live. Let me ask you this. What would you do differently today if you truly believed something good was coming? Would you speak more kindly to yourself? Would you take better care of your body? Would you stop rushing? Would you stop apologizing for existing? Would you stop living in fear of what if and start living in the hope of what's possible? This is the magic of acting as if. It changes the way you show up long before life catches up, and life always catches up. And now let us move gently into something that I believe is one of the most healing things a soul can learn to do: trusting the flow of your life. Trust is not passive. Trust is not naive. Trust is not sitting back and hoping. Trust is a spiritual stance. Trust is inner intelligence. Trust is the willingness to believe that life is wiser than your fear. Think about a river. The water doesn't push or argue or negotiate. It simply moves around rocks, around bends, across long stretches, through narrow passages, and eventually, effortlessly, it always finds its way. That is the intelligence of flow. Quiet, certain, unwavering. When you trust the flow of your life, you become like that river. You stop forcing, you stop panicking, you stop gripping, you stop trying to control what you were never meant to control, and you begin to let life guide you the way the river is guided, softly, intuitively, naturally. So many people are exhausted not because life is hard, but because resistance is exhausting. Resistance to change, resistance to uncertainty, resistance to timing, resistance to the unknown. But when you trust the flow, resistance dissolves. Your heart softens, your body unwinds, your mind becomes spacious, and you begin to see that life has been whispering directions to you all along. Life never moves you backward, even when you feel lost, even when things fall apart, even when the path seems utterly unclear. Life is not punishing you. Life is preparing you, guiding you, redirecting you, deepening you. Think of the times in your life when something fell apart, only to create space for something infinitely better. Think of the things you wanted so badly that didn't come, and how later their absence was a blessing you couldn't have planned. Think of the people who left, the doors that closed, The detours, the delays, every single one of them shaped you into who you are standing here today. This is why I say, nothing is out of order, nothing is meaningless, nothing is wasted, nothing is random, everything belongs. You do not need to understand the flow for it to work. You only need to stop fighting against it. Understanding is a mental need. Trust is a spiritual one. Understanding says, show me why, show me how, show me when. Trust says, I don't need to know. I only need to allow. And the moment you allow, you align. The moment you align, you receive. Miracles happen in soft hearts, not clenched fists. So let me ask you honestly and lovingly, are you flowing with life or are you resisting it? Are you trying to rush the timing? Carry burdens that were never meant for you? Control the uncontrollable? If you are, my dear, let this be your permission to rest, your permission to soften, your permission to breathe and trust the flow again. And now, my dear one, we arrive at the doorway where everything we have explored together becomes something you can feel, not just understand, something you can live, not just listen to. Because an affirmation is not a nice phrase, it is not a decoration for the mind. An affirmation is a declaration of who you are becoming. An affirmation is an agreement you make with life. An affirmation is a permission slip you sign with your own soul. And I want to guide you now into the energetic space where these words become your new inner home. The moment you speak an affirmation with willingness, even if you are not yet confident, even if you are not yet convinced, you change your relationship with your future. You say to life, I am ready. You say to your mind, we are choosing differently now. You say to your heart, you can breathe again. You say to the universe, show me what is possible. And the universe always responds. Maybe not instantly, maybe not the way you expect, maybe not in the form you imagined, but it responds in the perfect timing, in the perfect sequence for your highest good. So take a breath with me now. A slow, soft, kind breath. Inhale gently and exhale even more gently. Feel your shoulders lower. Feel your chest soften. Feel your jaw unclench. Feel your nervous system saying thank you. Because in this moment, with this breath, with this softness, you are preparing yourself to receive. And receiving, my love, is a spiritual skill, one many people have forgotten. Many people know how to chase. Many people know how to fear. Many people know how to control. But receiving, allowing, trusting, these are the skills that transform lives. These are the skills that open doors that effort alone can never open. The first affirmation is this: I act as if good things are already coming to me. This is not pretending. This is preparing. This is aligning your energy to the frequency of possibility instead of the frequency of fear. When you act as if good things are coming, you soften your shoulders instead of tightening them. You walk with hope instead of dread. You breathe with openness instead of bracing for pain. You become a match for blessings because blessings are drawn to hearts that expect them. Say it softly inside yourself. I act as if good things are already coming to me. And feel what happens. Your chest expands a little. Your breath deepens a little. Your mind quiets a little. Because this affirmation gives your nervous system permission to live in trust instead of tension. The second affirmation: I trust the flow of my life. This is one of the most healing truths you can ever embody because so much suffering comes from fighting the flow, resisting the timing, resisting the change, resisting the uncertainty. But life has a rhythm, life has cycles, life has seasons. And when you trust the flow, you stop standing in your own way. You stop holding the steering wheel so tightly that you forget you are not the only one guiding this journey. You begin to say, If this is here, it is here for me. If this is changing, it is changing for me. If this door closes, another one must be opening. Trust is a soft power. Trust is a quiet strength. Trust is the exhale that tells your soul, we can rest now. Say it again. I trust the flow of my life. Feel what that does to your body. There is a loosening, a spaciousness, a peace that enters the room when you say those words and mean them. The third affirmation, life supports me in every possible way. Oh, my dear, if you truly knew how deeply life supports you, you would never spend another moment in fear. Life supports you through people who appear at exactly the right moment. Life supports you through inner nudges you cannot explain. Life supports you through doors that open just before you lose hope, and through delays that protect you from harm you couldn't see coming. Life supports you through endings that redirect you to beginnings, through coincidences that are not coincidences at all. And when you adopt this belief, when you allow it, when you practice it, you walk differently, you breathe differently, you speak differently, because you know deep in your bones that you are not doing any of this alone. Feel this affirmation like a warm blanket settling around you. Life supports me in every possible way. And the fourth affirmation, the one that ties everything together, the one that aligns your inner world with the reality you are calling in. I am aligned with ease, clarity, and good fortune. Say it slowly, as if each word is a drop of honey. I am aligned with ease. Feel your muscles soften. With clarity, feel your mind brighten. With good fortune, feel your chest expand with something that feels very much like hope. This is not about asking for luck. It is about stepping into resonance. Ease is your natural state. Clarity is your inner wisdom, and good fortune is simply the expression of a mind that has learned to expect good. The more you repeat this, the more your energy shifts. The more your energy shifts, the more life rearranges itself around you. Not because life suddenly became better, but because you became aligned with the version of life that was always waiting for you. Now take one more breath, slow, gentle, loving. And as you breathe out, imagine releasing every old assumption, every old fear, every old story that no longer fits who you are becoming. Imagine it leaving your body like smoke dissolving into light, and imagine yourself standing on new ground, soft ground, steady ground, ground that welcomes your next chapter. You are not the same person who began listening to these words. Something in you has shifted, even if only 1 degree. But 1 degree of inner change creates an entirely different horizon. So let these affirmations become your companions from this day forward. I act as if good things are already coming to me. I trust the flow of my life. Life supports me in every possible way. I am aligned with ease, clarity, and good fortune. Say them in the morning and watch the day rearrange itself. Say them at noon and feel your energy settle. Say them before you sleep and watch your future soften in your direction. Say them when you are afraid. Say them when you feel lost. Say them when the path is unclear, because the path always becomes clearer when you stop forcing it and start trusting it. My dear one, life loves you. Life has always loved you. Life is not punishing you or delaying you or testing you out of cruelty. Life is preparing something beautiful for you right now, even as you breathe, even in the uncertainty, even in the waiting. There is something wonderful already on its way, and all you have to do, all you ever have to do, is soften enough to let it in. You are safe to hope again. You are safe to trust again. You are safe to open your hands and receive. And when you do, when you truly do, life will rise up to meet you, lovingly, faithfully, beautifully. It always does.